or when I was going through the process, I had the opportunity to take the robotics class, which at that time was an old Scara robot, and it was programmed in basically a DOS version. And that was really cool at the time. But even Jack, I think, followed me by just a few years, and when he went through, that class had disappeared. So we had lost that faculty, actually to administrative work, but we had lost that faculty. When I came back to the university, about 10 years later, or somewhere around there, a few years after Jack had left, we had an alum who said, we really want to get that robotics class going. We found out we hire students, and sometimes we give them these robotics tests and then not cadence classes. And they actually gave us a robot. They had an old robot. At the time, it was 10 years old. When I ran the class last year, it was 25 years old. And it looked it. And the student experience, I think, was aligned to that. Now, I'll still say just these minimal opportunities that we were giving the students. And we have students now at KUKA. We have students that have been in other robot manufacturers. We have students in relativity space working with robotics, in Boston Dynamics working with walking robotics. And so just that limited opportunity opened up huge doors. It's opened up massive research areas. I think Rick's going to talk about some of the research areas that we have going on following. But it opened up huge opportunities with us. But when Jack came, he said, I'm interested in what you guys are doing, how I can help. And I said, the big problem is in this whole history, it has always been one robot. And what that means functionally is that there's no TA in the room, because you just cannot put a TA with two students together in a room and pay for that kind of cost of education. It's just not practical. And so what happens is students come in, this was my experience with the students, the experience of every student that I had previous to this year was you get a video from a TA and a set of instructions. And then as TA will come in for a few minutes during your lab and just check it, make sure everything's okay. And so Jack said, well, what can we do? And I said, I need more robots. I need more robots, because that's the only way I can justify a TA in the room. And I think there's so many cool things with the modern robotics, the kinds of interfaces, the functionalities, the kind of tools that are built into them. I don't know how many times we've taped the webcam onto the end of our own robot, but the big thing was the ability with multiple robots to justify a TA in the room the whole time. And the experience that the students are talking about, the interactions the TA is having, I can't put words to how rich an experience it is now, especially in comparison to what it was before. And so for me, I think that's the biggest factor. And I'm so excited to see with what we've done before, with what little we had, what all of this is going to give us, where we're going to be 10 years from now. And so I'm super excited about it. I guess I'm going to hand it over. I think, Rick, you're next on the agenda. So I'm going to hand it over to Rick Billow. He's the director of our Protoplex.
Hello. Most of you don't know me. I don't teach classes any longer. But as Dr. Bristow mentioned, I am the director of the Missouri Protoplex. What is the Missouri Protoplex? You probably have seen the big building across from the bridge, Green Bridge. It is big. It's over 100,000 square feet. Why is Missouri S&T going to operate this, and what's it supposed to do? It takes me back, there we go, to 1990. There was a Texas billionaire running for president of the United States. And I'll never forget what he said. At that time, the free trade agreements were being negotiated, which meant no tariffs on goods brought into the United States. And unfortunately, they were not reciprocal. And that man, Ross Perot was his name, he died a few years ago, said, if we pass these free trade agreements, in 20 years, this country will be making potato chips, not computer chips. And boy, did that ever come true. This country was built on manufacturing. Always has been. So therefore, today, we got a gift of $300 million. You all know about that. Our Fred and June company. I was at Notre Dame. I got a call from Otagami, and he said, we're considering you to be the director of this facility. Why me? Well, you're pretty good with companies, I hear. Yeah. But you're also pretty good with faculty. Yeah. We don't see that. So, so he said, I want to give you 2 directives that Fred Gummer gave him. And I don't care what anybody else tells you. These are the 2 things you're to do. Number 1, economic development. What does that mean? Bring the United States back to manufacturing competitiveness. Number 1. And number 2, workforce development. Create a pipeline of educated engineers and skilled tradespeople to go to work for these companies to help make them competitive and keep them competitive. That's where you come in. We took that very seriously. The companies that hire you said the same thing. We needed new laboratories, we needed new courses. So we went, team with community colleges, we won a $9 million state grant called MOOC Cells to increase the pipeline of mechanical engineers with an emphasis in manufacturing. Out of that, 8 new courses have been developed or modernized. 4 laboratories. The reverse engineering laboratory, the new robotics laboratory, thanks to KUKA Robotics. Our alumni are modernizing the controls laboratory this fall, and of course the Protoplex, which you're all getting access to. Modern courses with modern laboratories. By the way, the equipment that you're learning on is the same equipment used by the companies that are going to hire you. And even the suppliers of those big companies. 3 to 5 years from now, if they don't have this technology, you're going to need positions of leadership. You're going to get it for them if they're not using it now. 3 to 5 years, you'll be managers, supervisors. You're going to say, we need to be getting KUKA robots. Why? Because of our teaming with KUKA, we have robots for the K through 12 outreach program. We have robots for the undergraduate program. And the Protoplex has KUKA robots for the projects that we're doing with industry. And it's going to grow. It's going to grow. For example, wire arc additive manufacturing called WAM. It's gaining popularity. We're building a WAM system, buying a WAM system built on KUKA robot. Because the Navy needs over 40 new ships, submarines. And they need wire arc additive manufacturing to do that. Okay? So our internship program, that's what you people are doing, our undergraduate internship program. You'll be learning to use WAM to solve real industrial problems. We've been well in the 3 years I've been here, thanks to people like Jack Venuto of KUKA, thanks to Doug Bristow, thanks to many, many others. Tom Turpin, Tori from Advancement. We've been awarded over $23 million in projects. Never seen before here. You're that pipeline. You get the benefit of that. So the future does look good and we're not done. With the F-47 project that Boeing just won, and they're the leader for the successor to the bids for the successor to the F-18. The future looks bright. We're already looking at what's the next fund that we can get in here to build more laboratories, to be able to increase the number of faculty, to be able to properly educate up to 150 more mechanical and aerospace engineers each year that we can't do right now. Already, as you know, Boeing was here last week trying to recruit more. We've got to be prepared as a university for that. Someday, you're going to remember. You're going to remember these things that were done for you. You're going to be in a position to do what Jack did. He was an alumnus. He was a student here. You're going to be in a position, and you're going to want to do that for this school. My greatest hope is you'll be so proud of this school that you'll send your children here. That's my dream. And that we're honorable enough and we do enough for you that you'll be proud to do that. Thanks very much, folks.
2004 was a very good year. Mechanical engineering graduated 23-time All-American swimmer, student athlete, Jack Caduto. Jack is currently the president of KUKA North America, KUKA Robotics North America. But he's one of our guys, student athlete, just amazing person. I met him up in Michigan about 3 years ago, and we started a great relationship back. He'd already been on the Academy for Athletics, helping, and now he's on the Academy of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineers, which you got to be 20 years past your graduation date to get considered to be nominated. And that's Jack, because he's an old guy now. So we want to welcome him, and we want to get this over with so we can get pizza while it's still warm. I think everything's looking good for pizza back there. Yes, okay, got the high sign, pizza's looking good. But we want to take the time that we need to talk about this, because it's very important. It's very important to recognize, but also to share where we're going. Thanks, Dr. Billow and Dr. Bayless, for your words. Very impressive. And we haven't heard from Bristow yet, but that'll be good. And Jack, come on in. Tell us how you got here.
Thanks everybody for joining. As Tom mentioned, Jack Caduto, I'm the president of KUKA Robotics. I am an alumni of the university. I was a student athlete, swimming, as well as being a mechanical engineering student, and that's really what brought me to Rolla. I wanted to go to a school where I could be a varsity swimmer and also study mechanical engineering. And I was fortunate that Rolla checked those boxes, and that's how I ended up here. When we talk about the fit of the donation of the robots for the robotics lab and KUKA working with the university, I certainly want to point out that it wasn't something that I did or I made happen. I can't unilaterally do such a thing. And if we look at it in the big picture, there was just that right fit that if we look at the university and what the focus is in the university, manufacturing, and the companies that recruit at the school and the equipment that those companies use, there's that fit between KUKA and Rolla and those companies that it absolutely made sense for us to work together. And if we look at where those technologies are that the school's pushing, like what Rick mentioned, with large format additive manufacturing, with machining with a robot, the STEM outreach as well with education cells that can be used with middle school and high school students. All of those things were a good fit between KUKA and those objectives of the university, which made it a great opportunity for us to work together. So I'm really happy that we were able to support that, and it's going to significantly increase the opportunities that are available in learning about robotics and make this class more available for students as well to take the robotics class more frequently than what was available previously with the earlier iterations. So like Doug mentioned, there was no robotics class when I was here. So I'm glad to clarify that, because when we talked, I thought, I don't remember there being a robotics class. I feel like if there was one robot, I would have noticed it. So I'm glad to know that it wasn't here, then I didn't miss it. The other thing for me personally related to the university and pursuing this opportunity with the robotics lab is how it can impact the students. For a number of years, I've had the opportunity to interview a number of students for internships or for postgraduate engineering roles. And what I see is that Rolla uniquely positions students, that the curriculum here does a great job of developing a broad base of knowledge in engineering discipline, but also provides you a framework for how to think and how to tackle problems. And I think that's critically important to be considered when it comes time to pursue whatever that job might be that you want to pursue. Now with the robots and with the upgrade of the other labs as well that Rick mentioned, these are the small things that can be that differentiator when it comes time to be in that interview. That it could be the differentiator of getting that interview, or it could be that little difference that you have in that practical experience so that you can hit the ground running at one of those companies that makes you an attractive candidate. And I'm hopeful that with the addition of this lab, that's going to be something that can make that small bit of difference for you in whatever that role is that you pursue after your time here in Rowland. So that's all I had to share as far as the dedication ceremony today. I understand that we have some naming competition for the robots. This was shared with me. We did bring some robot models, so the 4 winners of the naming competition will be able to come up here and get a KUKA robot model that they'll be able to take with them. The first one is from Grant Bear. Is Grant here? All right, hi Grant. And his name is KUKA. I'll have to ask our KUKA colleagues in Australia if anybody's used that. The second one is Carter Allen. Carter, I think we met this morning in Doug's class. And the robot name is Jack the Gripper. Third one, Otto Kniddle. Did I pronounce that correctly? Kniddle. I think we also met this morning. And the robot name is Otto Nate. Self-named and a pun. Nice work. And then the fourth one is a faculty member. Is that correct? Frank Hahn. And his is, did you guys get the licensing approval for this? BB-8. I also understand that Frank recently received his U.S. citizenship. Yes. So congratulations. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate the fun of the naming of the robots in the lab. And anything else we got?
I'm taking the wrap up of this. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Stand over here. Stand over here. So I guess a couple of things. One thing I forgot to mention earlier. So the lab is being dedicated. We'll be using the robotics class, but it's also open for other activities. So there's already research activities going on in there. If there are other classes that want to make use of the lab besides the robotics class, I think it fits into many things. We'll use it with senior design projects. So it's going far beyond what we're doing this semester. We're going to roll it out as we go. So I want to mention that. I also wanted to acknowledge that KUKA is also not part of this dedication ceremony, but also donated robots that's helping out the entertainment, what's called the stage design, entertainment design student team. And so those are, I think they're in the process of uncrating.
Yes.
And so we'll be excited to see those robots on stage or whatever, taking pictures or whatever those robots are going to end up doing. Looking forward to that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. I've got a couple of gifts.
Okay.
The first gift is not for you. It's for Kelly and Joel.
Oh, boy.
So that is a vase produced in our glass shop
Oh, very cool.
here on campus.
And we're gonna take it, we have packaging, we'll ship it to you. So you
The second one is for you, and so this is one of our senior design clocks made up with a little bit of KUKA
Kinda heavy.
on the front and the back.
So is this still done in the intro
100%.
manufacturing process class?
That's right.
So I appreciate receiving this because the one that I made as a student was perfectly timed in the spring semester to be a Father's Day gift. So mine has been sitting on my dad's desk for 20 years. So I've never.
It took a couple decades, but you finally got it.
Yeah, it's got a few new features. I see that it's 3D printed as well and pocket milled in it. So very cool. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last thing, this is I guess a humble sign, but significant in its meaning. And so this sign will be going on the door to officially dedicate that lab as the KUKA Robotics
Slide it right
Laboratory.
over there where it says 205.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Let's do this, folks.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
This is the official.
The official dedication
Official.
here. Yep, slide her in.
Official.
So as promised, short and sweet, there is pizza in the back and the lab is going to be open. So we'll have some of the students running their projects and some of the laboratories that run the lab. Feel free to grab pizza and cycle through the lab. Thank you all for coming.
I told him the story of this morning. I thought about it.